Hey everybody, it's Mike, and I wanted to post a video because today Putin ordered Russian forces to occupy the Donbas, which consists of two provinces, Luhansk to the north and Donetsk to the south. These are provinces that have been under rebellion from Ukraine since Russia invaded Crimea back in 2014. But if I said invasion earlier, I should really correct myself. He's only formalized what has been the case for the past 8 years, and that is that Russian troops are officially in the Donbas. They've been there all along, masquerading as freedom fighters and whatnot. Locals defending, their right to rebel. So he's finally taken the mask off and just said, okay, yeah, we're just going to have the Russian military in there. But what also is disturbing is that, the 130 battalion tactical groups he has spread out from Belarus, which is north of Ukraine, borders Ukraine to the north, and then all along the Ukrainian border to the east and south, and then Crimea in the Black Sea. That combat power represents about 80% of Russia's total military force and all of its naval infantry, which would be their equivalent of the U.S. Marine Corps. So you don't deploy those kinds of forces if you don't intend to use them. And my guess is right now, Putin is just going to sit back for a couple of days and see what is the reaction of the West, how bad the sanctions are, and to try and get an assessment of how effectively Russia can weather those sanctions before he proceeds with the full-on invasion of Ukraine. And what is that going to look like? It's going to look like a double pincer movement with forces coming down from Belarus, driving on Kiev, the capital of Ukraine, and then forces coming up from the south, from Crimea, and driving across to Odessa, and then forces from the east pushing over the border and going as far as the Dnieper and perhaps even farther. The Dnieper River runs through Ukraine and basically cuts it in half. So Putin's goal is to dismember Ukraine and basically leave a rump state left, or even no state. In fact, actually, my guess is he expects it to disintegrate into and be absorbed by the other nations, Belarus, Poland, Slovakia, Hungary, and Romania. So the stakes here are pretty high, because keep in mind, Putin's whole reason for launching this operation is that NATO's an existential threat to Ukraine, which is complete BS. NATO's a defensive alliance. It's only ever gone to war once, and that was in an Article 5 convention when in response to 9/11. It did go to war in the Balkans in '98, but that was under UN mandate to keep Serbs from killing Muslims and Croatians. So it's not an offensive alliance. It doesn't seek to impose its will on people. So what he's done is basically move Russia's borders closer to NATO. And if NATO is such a threat, that would be the last thing you would want to do. But keep in mind, there's already two countries that border, NATO countries that border Russia, Estonia and Latvia, to the north on the Baltic. So once he has Ukraine's consolidated, he's going to turn his eye to those countries. There's a further Baltic nation, Lithuania, that borders Belarus and Poland, and the Kaliningrad Oblast, which is a little piece of land that the Russians kept after World War II, just so they could have a toehold in Poland and guard the mouth of the Baltic Sea, the entrance to St. Petersburg. Anyhow, that's the next target. And it's my considered opinion that he won't wait too long either. If the West doesn't stand firm now, self-aggrandizing tyrants like Putin are seldom satiated with the first few bites of territory that they take. They want more. And he will want a lot more. He will want the Baltics and probably a strip of land between Poland and Lithuania that connects to the Oblast, the Kaliningrad Oblast. He'll want that. So it's really a dangerous situation we're in, and we need to really gird ourselves for potential confrontation. I don't want to be alarmist, but Putin, he is not, in my view, correctly gauging the risks of how this can spin out of control, because he thinks that the West is, flimsy. He thinks the NATO alliance is a joke, that he can push it around, and that with China in his corner, he can weather the sanctions. So we'll see how this goes. It doesn't look good, but I just want folks to know that, real smart folks are working on this problem, and your nation's military is always ready. War is a big expense. I've been in 4 of them. We don't want another one. But sometimes peace at any price is too high a cost. So we learned that in 1938, and it's just ironic that what's happened with Ukraine is very similar to 1938, where you have great powers negotiating the future destiny of a country that doesn't have a seat at that table. In the same way Czechoslovakia didn't have a seat at the table in the negotiations between Nazi Germany, the United Kingdom, and France. So the French and British underestimated Hitler in 1938. I don't think we're underestimating Putin now. It's just a question of whether we have the will to make him realize that the price he's going to have to pay is way too high. Nor do I think we should accept, under any circumstances, his acquisition of territory. In my view, we should have imposed these sanctions long ago. And had we, he wouldn't be in the position to do what he's doing today. So I'm going to close out. I will post another video soon, and I hope you're all doing well. Questions and comments, like and share, and look forward to hearing from you all. Take care.